Hello, everybody. Welcome to next episode of podcast Efficiency Now. Don't be silent, be lean. And today my guest is Martina Samson Kubová, who is the HR partner. Hello, Martina.
Hello, hi.
Okay, can you please explain me? Let's start with your career job. What does it mean? So HR, like human resource. Just tell me a little bit. What are you doing? Because from the HR perspective, it can be whatever. So if you can a bit explain me now your current position and then as well a bit your career path in the past.
Okay, sure, no problem. Right now, I am like HR partner for one scouting platform, football platform called iBall, which was established about like 5 years ago. I joined the company March this last year, or the last year, and I'm just helping to set up like a little bit HR processes. Also, I'm responsible for the recruitment because the positions or the profiles we are searching currently, it's really mishmash. I would call it either IT, data profiles, or it be marketing, administrative staff, and also we are cooperating with many people who are like football fans, and they would like to contribute on like a children's scouting football, and they would like to let's say make some little input to this platform, because this platform is really focused on the young children who could be next future superstar in football and who are really living for the football. So this is really, I would say, fulfilling job, because first of all, it's about the sport, it's a nice product, and you are meeting really many people from each corner of the world, so this is really fun, because even the company is, let's say, established here in Czech Republic and has a branch in Denmark, you still have many colleagues and contractors who are spread around the world. So this is very fulfilling. And if I may talk about a little bit about my past, I have, let's say, 25 years in HR. I joined the first like in external HR, like a person agencies, if you want to call, and I was responsible mainly for like projects which were focused on multicultural specialists who were placed in, for example, in some platforms, and I'm also in Prague, and they were like from the different type of sectors. It was really, when you are in person agency, you have to be focused on everything. Again, marketing, IT, etc., etc. I also lived few years in Bulgaria, in Balkan. I was based in Sofia and also Varna, a little bit in Bucharest, and I was responsible for internal HR in these countries. So that also gives you like ideas how the HR can be done in different countries with a different mentality. So I always say that it's always difficult, but it's important to go out of your country, because if you meet another people, it really enlarges you. It really gives you a lot of energy. And I think that the Czech Republic is very small just to stay inside.
Just okay. So you just started. So let's get back to that. Yeah. So you have the experience to really live abroad. Yeah. So you mentioned Bulgaria. Currently, you live in Czech Republic. Yeah. Can you see some differences? Because you mentioned that each of the countries is a little bit different. Can you see the differences between the Czech people and probably the Bulgaria as well? You mentioned the Romania. Do you have as well some experience with another countries apart of these that you just mentioned?
Regarding the HR, I was also, because usually when you are in some corporates, you are based somewhere, but of course you are reporting to the headquarters, which is somewhere else, So of course I'm also working for the corporations which were originally from Germany, but has branches around. So through that, you also meet the other HRs from the other countries, and still you are one big company in one house. So you have to be aligned. But of course, each country is specific regarding the law, labor code, and etc., etc. So this is always different. But I would say from the perspective like a soft skills regarding the HR, I really think the mentality here in Czech Republic is completely different than in Balkan, because Balkan is like it's just that they don't care about future that much. They are living right now, which is also positive. But from the perspective that when you are budgeting and planning, because they are not keeping sometimes the deadlines. On the other hand, here in Czech Republic, we are more German oriented. I think it's also coming from the history from the past. And that's why here I think we are more structured and organized. But for example, if we are performing for the Czech headquarters, but we are based in Balkan, and you combine that, it's fun. It's fun. It's also challenging because it's also depending in which company you are working. If you have a company which is just a unions and you are working for the company with the unions, it's always the negotiations are so difficult and it's very different, But if you have like a freestyle business, I think it doesn't matter where you are really based, because if it's not that demanding regarding some regulations, you can, as a HR, even change some processes or procedures, and you can set up completely new mindset.
Okay. How about the Romania? You mentioned as well the Romania.
I spent 1.5 years over there, and I'm that open mind for the, let's say, setup which we, for example, brought. Bulgarians were, I would say, much more flexible, but I'm just talking really about my pure experience. And I also, I would say that if you set up some deadlines, they were always trying to like avoid and to find to postpone, etc., etc. So sometimes it was really demanding when we are, for example, planning the budget for some project. It was really difficult to really succeed the deadline, but again, only just my experience. I cannot like put it like that Romania is this and Bulgaria is this. This was just experience. So for me personally, I was much more comfortable in Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's always. But
how about the other countries? Yeah, because now you mentioned East. So I'm now speaking maybe just about where you lived, because you mentioned you lived several years in Bulgaria and then 1.5 years in Romania. Yeah. How about the other countries? Have you been exposed to as well to other countries? I don't mean by living, but really by more, intense cooperation with them.
Intensive cooperation. Now it's very intensive where I am now in eyeball, because here the cooperation is like that you have to, for example, find out the way how to make a labor contract for somebody in Mexico, because you need some sales representative in Mexico, So, but then you are just using HR tools, which are external companies, which are just covering your labor stuff. And you can just deal with the people directly, that you just set up the KPIs and what they have to perform and stuff like that. But I didn't live and work in the other country. It was just that I was based here, but responsible for some of the other regions, or reporting to the other regions. Because, for example, when you are performing in personnel agency for few clients, these clients are usually foreign companies and they have different type of, let's say, demanding stuff, and you have to just adapt a little bit.
Just tells me what motivates you. You mentioned you are in HR for 25 years. Yeah, of course, different companies. But what motivates you that still? And what do you think that the good HR person? What kind of skills and what kind of maybe the soft skills as well, or hard skills should have?
Was questioned that recently as well. What motivates me? I always like people. I would say really, if you ask my friends, they will tell you I'm communicative, open-minded, and I am trying to help. If I can help, I will. I'm also trying to find, sometimes it is difficult, but I'm trying to find a consensus, because of course HR is always between something. There is a finance guy and he tells you have this budget, and you know also the operation that they need people. So this is always really challenging. So this is one of the parts why I like HR, to find a way that sometimes it's difficult, but when you succeed, you say, okay, I did a good job. Sometimes it's long process, but this is, I would say, about each job. But what also motivates me, for example, from the HR point of view, is that when you are in some company for a certain period of the time, and you can see people grow. So you know that you hired somebody as a sales rep, and you can see that after a few years, this sales rep is already now like a sales manager or sales team leader or something like that. And that happened, for example, to me in Bulgaria, because the people who I hired that time in the facility company where I was performing, they are still there after 15 years, and they will grow up. One is CEO for the region, and the second is technical director for the whole Balkan. So this is, I would say, like from the HR point of view, it's like that you can see that you could really work with people and you can see the life cycle of them, which is like sense for how to say like a profitability for the company and for them as well. But sometimes it's struggling because I can tell you that I'm meeting a lot of managers and the opinion they have on HR it's awful. And I must admit that I'm not surprised because I also crossed few of my colleagues or peers, or how to call it, and I understand that some of the managers are having very bad and negative attitude towards the HR, but I think it is just by person. You can be really skilled, you can be really having super knowledge, but if you are not like a good person and you are always trying to find some conflict, that of course it's not going to work. And some of the people in HR, they just don't like people, they are not open-minded, just straight or keep straight looking, and it limits them, and it also doesn't give a good name for the whole HR like itself, which is sad, but I will stay in this industry, doesn't matter what. And
forever. So just reverse it. Now you mentioned one of it. Some of the HR, they don't like the human, which is quite interesting because the name of the HR, human resources, they should really like the people. What other skills you should have as a good HR, apart of loving people? Yeah.
Negotiation skills. Also, you should understand the numbers, because of course, even you are HR and you are focused on some talent pool or soft skills, you have to understand the numbers, which, let's say, that's why HR always has to be aligned with the CFO. If they don't like each other or they are not in the tandem, they can hate each other, but they have to still respect each other and cooperate. Then HR has no function. You have to be always aligned minimum with CFO and CEO. Otherwise, you don't have a support and you cannot do anything. So that means that you really have to be strong in what knowledge you have, because you are selling yourself to them, and you should really definitely negotiate, and you should also be always open-minded to find another way how to achieve consensus, because the company has to always, each company has some strategy, or they have some visions, and they have to achieve them. And you don't achieve them like as a single person, you always achieve them as a team. So you have to be also a team player. And I would say that you must, as a personality, you have to respect the others, but to have also respect from the others. And if this is not a line, it's always difficult. So I must say, I was always like a 50-50. For example, recently it's super, but in the past, in a few my, let's say, positions, I was really facing, I would say, even hate against HR, and if you don't get the chance to show and prove your, let's say, skills and ability to be in such a position, it's very difficult. But without the support, you never do it. And that's the, let's say, I would say the whole point in the company, let's say, management. They have to cooperate. If you have one person, I am the best, the second person is the best, the third person is the best.
Playing with the ego, yeah. My question to you: why do you think that or maybe even better the ratio? But my experience is that where I've seen the HR or the manager in the HR position, it was maybe 80-90% that they were women, and just a minority the men. Why do you think? Why is it like this? Because when I take any, I'm mainly from the operations, and when I look plant managers, production manager, logistics, it's always like 90% are men, but HR was always opposite. So why do you think it's like that?
I don't know, but it is like that. But it shouldn't be, because I think because HR, first, when you say HR, everybody say, it's a soft, it's a relationship, and automatically, because the word is running in some mode, immediately say, okay, let's just put some woman over there, So, but I also crossed the very good HR guys, and even from the production. But I really think that when you are talking about like a soft and how to connect people and how to make like a line that always everybody's thinking out. Or maybe the thinking is that in a higher position the woman would, let's say, perform that well. But when we are mentioning this, let's say, proportion between men and women in the positions, this is, I think, that we are still struggling in Czech Republic, because when you go on a C level, like there is one HR lady and the rest of the men. When you go more like invest, even just in Germany, I'm telling you, you go to the board and it's like a 60-40. I mean, 40 women percent and 60 men. And I think this diversity is very important, because if you have just girls, it doesn't work. If you have just guys, it doesn't work. So to make like a mix, because everybody has a different, let's say, that's a point of view. And if I think that they work together, it's more powerful and successful and more fruitful for the business, I think.
Now my question too is, because you a little bit touch it, yeah. So of course the Czech, maybe is there already majority and high ratio of men in the C-level. Would you agree to put, because there are a lot of discussions on the European level about the ratio, and to put more women, in the C-level, would you be supporting that? But I mean by force. So it would be, hey guys, if you are this company, it should be 50-50, 60-40, whatever. Or you would like more that the ladies, they will get that naturally. So without any of the ratios, without any, just, to say we need 3 of 8 needs to be women. So what is your view on that?
No, I wouldn't definitely, again, business by business, company by company, definitely not force it, now 15 million, 15 guys. No. Because each company is really different, and I'm sure that if you are, for example, if you have a really, let's say, healthy management, like I'm talking about top management, which is spreading the energy and the ideas forward, that it should be coming from them. They should go also as example, So I would maybe, I think it's very difficult to implement, by the way. It's something like utopia, but you can still start like a step by step, that you can even try. Okay, you can have an excellent candidate, and then that's why we have a trial period, because he's excellent on interview, and then you can see after 1 month that he's useless, So that's why I think that good, really top management can evaluate. Look, let's put, let's say, spread it like the CFO, whatever these positions. Let's see the candidates and just let's try to mix it, but not by force. Not like that. I will take you as a candidate to be my employee just because you are a guy or a woman. No. Always the best. Also, if you don't need to really recruit somebody through some difficult process, always the best is through referral, through somebody. Okay, Helen, look, I think that you need this. You need to contact this person, and let's try it, because it's always by experience. I also pay attention to referral. If somebody who I cooperate in the past and it was perfect, or let's say it was smooth, that this person, if he or she gives me some, let's say, contact, because he or she knows that I right now need somebody like that, it's the best. And it doesn't matter if it's a guy or a woman. But of course, if this person is going to cooperate in some tiny team, you have to go also for team fit. I would, for example, I would never ever recommend like a superstar if I wasn't sure that, okay, he might be very good